So, attribution theory introduces us to the idea, the concept of an attribution, and lets us know that people make attributions about the behaviors of others. But it also goes a step further to look at the question of how we make attributions. And the how is the result of three factors. When we make an attribution, we make that attribution based on consistency, distinctiveness, and consensus. To go back to the example of the smiling baby, when we try to consider why the baby is smiling, we consider consistency. Is this a baby we know? And if so, is this a baby who is always smiling? That information helps inform our attribution. Distinctiveness. Are there occasions on which the baby doesn't smile? Again, if we have that information, we have a better informed attribution as a result. And lastly, consensus. Do all babies smile, or do all babies of that age smile? Do all babies in that situation smile? If the baby's being held in the picture, do all babies being held tend to smile? Those three factors matter, and here's how. When consistency is high and distinctiveness and consensus are low, then we are more likely to make a personal attribution. If consistency is high, if the baby smiles all the time, and we see this baby smiling, and we also know that distinctiveness is low, that lots of babies cry a lot, and that there are lots of situations where babies cry, then we're more likely to draw the personal attribution that this baby is just a happy baby. However, if consistency is high and those other factors are high too, if distinctiveness is also high, if consensus is also high, if we know lots of babies who smile, and if we know that lots of babies who are being held tend to smile, then we're much more likely to make a situational attribution. Maybe that somebody was holding the baby, or somebody just tickled the baby, or again somebody's jingling keys or making a funny face behind the camera. Now, the crying baby, sorry, the smiling baby example may seem rather light. So let's apply it to the behaviors we see in families that we might regard as more significant. Let's consider that option of the spouse who's calling to say that he or she will be home late from work. Well, let's look at those characteristics, at those factors again. Consistency. How often is someone calling in saying they're going to be home late? Distinctiveness. Are there situations where this doesn't happen, where the person calling gets home? Is this something that happens regularly? And consensus. Uh, do people generally call home when they're going to be late for dinner? We take those factors into consideration when we make our attributions, that either this person is being honest with me and is having um, an extra workload that's requiring this person to stay late, or that there's some other attribution to be made there. We make attributions, interestingly, in family communication research, we see attributions play a role in families marked by one family member's antisocial behavior. Consider a child who's regularly getting in trouble in school, a child who is getting in trouble in school. We may use these factors uh, to determine that, well, the child doesn't consistently get in trouble in school. And we might then conclude that there's some other factor, some other attribution that needs to be considered. Maybe the kid just moved to a new school. Maybe the kid has been switched into a new class. There are other students who have been sitting or working or hanging around that kid that are contributing to that change in behavior. Uh, we see this in research on families in which one person is directly affected by, directly engaged in substance abuse. Um, a father may be drinking more than usual for lots of reasons. We might make attributions that this person is drinking heavily because of a situation, because of an increased workload, because of emotional, financial, stressful situations, what have you. Or we might make a personal attribution about that person's behavior, depending on these notions of consistency, distinctiveness, and consensus.